and welcome to Marketplace Matters. I'm Emma Sisson from the Issuer Services team here at the London Stock Exchange, and I'm delighted today to be joined by Erwin Groenendal, co-founder and Product Evangelist at Tangelo Software. Erwin, very warm welcome to you and thank you for joining us today.
Well, it's great being here and thank you for having us.
So tell us a bit more about Tangelo.
Yeah, Tangelo is a software platform allowing companies to take control over their corporate reporting by providing them with a more innovative way of creating annual reports, sustainability reports, and other corporate documents. Mm-hmm. We're headquartered in the Netherlands, from where we do our product development and where we have our global management teams, and from where we service our clients throughout Europe, South Africa, and the Middle East. We also have an office in Sydney, Australia, from which we service our clients in Australia, New Zealand, and Asia Pacific. Our clients are listed companies, the larger listed companies. We have lots of clients in financial services, but we also service the smaller listed companies.
Now, what do you mean by a more innovative way of creating corporate reporting?
Yeah, so traditionally an annual report and other corporate reports are produced or typeset by the design agency based on approved design guidelines. But this leads to a bottleneck in the process because you have to rely on that one person making the changes for you on your behalf because you can't edit the document yourself. So what we provide is a way to, we take those design guidelines, set them up in our system, empowering the teams, the remuneration teams, the sustainability teams, the IR teams to build, amend, edit the report whenever they want. So this leads to a more controlled way of doing the process. They can collaborate in a secure, effective way.
Great. So how is Tangelo different from other solutions?
Yeah, so it's of course the bottleneck that I talked about, something that has been recognized before. We see other approaches, but they only do part of the process. Where we have a unique integrated end-to-end solution, they only do part of that process. So I mentioned the desktop publishing tool. So it is possible after the design agency has typeset the report to make it available for remote editing, which is a common approach, of course, embraced by design agencies, but it's a very limited approach. So it basically does not address those first phases, those drafting phases of the process, but only in the very end you can make changes to some extent, basically limited to text edits only. So you still end up with an inefficient process, a multi-system approach, a multi-source approach, and an error-prone approach.
So what about that other approach that you mentioned?
Yeah, that's the disclosure management area, disclosure management systems area. Where you'll see that, of course, they play a crucial role in getting to the numbers, calculating the numbers, getting to the tables that you need to disclose, and then in most cases provide a way to build the report around those tables in Office tools. Some include, and we've seen examples from the US, where they include the reporting capabilities in the tool itself, but if you look at the annual report, a typical annual report in the US, it's the Form 10K, which is not a designed report. So they can't really do the designed PDFs that European companies, basically any other company outside of the US requires. So you still see that they end up by using InDesign in the end as well. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned modern day corporate reporting. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, so modern day corporate report, if you look at reports, annual reports of 10 years back, and I always use the Pirelli 2013 annual report as a good example, which is a beautifully designed report. It's a handcrafted print production in a nice box, tilted box, and I think it was meant to touch, smell, everything. Like that's that experience, the print production. If you look at the reporting requirements today, it's more about online accessibility, it's about speed, digital, so it's a whole new set of requirements that clearly the traditional process can't do.
Things are very moving more towards the digital side of reporting, aren't they?
Yeah.
So how can the Tangelo platform help those specifically in investor relations engage with shareholders and investors?
Yeah. So I think nowadays with sustainability, ESG becoming more and more critical for investor relations. It has also changed the audience for IR, where it used to be about analysts, existing shareholders, potential investors. It now also includes customers, suppliers, employees, you, me. Like, we all want to know if that company is making a positive impact. And those new audiences, those modern stakeholders, they will search for information online. So I think it's becoming more and more important to have a microsite version of the annual report to meet the requirements of that new audience. Our platform makes it very easy to not only generate the PDF, create the PDF on the platform, but from the same source also do a microsite version of that report. So it helps IR meeting those new challenges.
Yeah, that's really helpful for those in IR. Machine readability came up before. How does your platform support ESEF and UKSEF reporting?
Yeah, we provide clients with an integrated approach instead of a bolted-on approach. So we see many solutions where you have the traditional process and then there's a bolted-on solution to do the electronic version of the report. So it's a parallel process or something that comes after, something that's done by a service supplier. We offer an integrated approach. That means it's built into the platform. So that's the third channel. You could say it's PDF, microsite, but also the electronic version. So it's very accurate. It's from the same. It doesn't take you days to have this created by the service provider, but it's actually a push of a button. It takes 2 minutes and you generate the ESEF version. So it's quicker, it's integrated. An approach that is recommended by the Financial Reporting Council as well, as opposed to the bolted-on approach. And also our content format of the platform is actually the same format as the electronic format. So we can provide a very native experience for users, especially around the block tagging, which was a new requirement introduced last year.
Thanks so much for explaining how Tangelo can help the issuers on the LSE. Thanks so much for being here today as well, Erwin.
It was a pleasure, and thanks for having us.
No problem. For more information on Tangelo software, please visit the Marketplace profile page on the London Stock Exchange Issuer Services platform. Thanks so much for watching.